Hey, my beautiful peeps, what's up? I'm not gonna stay on it for a whole lot of time today. Um, but I did want to come on and do a live stream, and I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. And we're doing another Satanism. Okay, so I'm doing this because there is another satanic panic in the works. I'm not sure whether it's already here or what, but we have got some real big issues in America. And I am going to call them out, not like Telltale Atheist. By the way, great YouTuber. I suggest if you um, like my debunks, you will love his debunks. Telltale Atheist. Um, that's his channel name. He's also got a Telltale Unfiltered channel. So anyway, moving on. And so so yeah, let's see what the dipwads had to say back in the 80s and 90s. And here we go. It would help if I muted for
brilliant psychopath, Satan himself.
It's very tempting for them to take hold of these promises. And sadly, Satan is such a liar, and he's cheating these young people.
Actually, no, that's not true. Satan is not doing anything because Satan does not exist. Now, if you're talking about the serpent in the Garden of Eden, which I don't believe existed, but let's go with it. If you're talking about the serpent in the Garden of Eden, the serpent, first of all, was not the devil. The Bible never says the serpent was Satan. You got that from Revelation. And second of all, the snake was the only one that told the truth in that entire story because God lied. God said, "The day you eat from this tree, you will surely die." And they did not. And the Christian apologetic, because apologists have to find some dumbass reason, is well, they didn't die physically, they died spiritually, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. All right, moving on. Hey, Angelica, how's it going? Yeah, I agree. Hail Satan. I don't believe in Satan, but you know, to be edgy, I'll go with it. Hail Satan. All right, moving on.
And I care very much. I care very much. They're being cheated, conned, and they will eventually die. And
Okay, they're being cheated, conned, and they will eventually die. And you feel sorry for them. And you should feel sorry for them. But not for the reason you think. They are being cheated and conned. And you know who's cheating them and conning them? You are. Maybe not you personally. Maybe you bought this bullshit. I don't know. But who is cheating and conning them is the church. I spent my first 40 years in this bullshit, and now I've devoted the rest of my life to calling it out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Moving on.
a lot of them, it is because they have at some point been involved with the occult, and they die because they can't face the fact that the promises weren't kept.
No. They unalived themselves. Sorry, I can't say the word. They unalived themselves because there was something wrong with their brain chemistry. You fucking moron. Why can't you people still don't get that? Some of you do, but evangelicals still do not get the fact that people do this stuff because there is something chemically wrong in their brains. It has nothing to do with Satan. I wish you people would get educated, but apparently education is against your religion. Moving on.
Satanic rituals are shrouded in secrecy. New recruits are often blindfolded when taken to the ritual location or drugged so that their recollections are blurred and their will to resist is eliminated.
I was blindfolded to the Satanist temple.
Yeah, this never happened. This never happened. Just ignore everything she's going to say because it never happened. Okay? These are just idiots that wanted their 15 minutes of fame. And they got it. And, you know, after it was said and done, and we've spent a whole fucking decade and a half in this shit, they came out and they said it was all fake. It was all made up. Hey, Limited. All right, moving on.
And when I got in there, I was astonished, to say the least. There was about 400 people or more. They stood and they were worshipping the devil. There were effigies of Satan, half man and half beast, around the walls.
By the way, I don't think that's quote unquote Satan. I'm not sure. I'm not up on my Satanism lore. I think that's Baphomet. Limited, do you know? Is that Satan or Baphomet? It's one or the other. I'm just not sure which one. I think it's Baphomet, but like I said, I'm not sure. Let me know if you know. And let me know down in the comments if you know.
There was a high altar, and on the altar, there were cups and knives. The chief Satanist sat on a throne-like seat.
Cups and knives. The scapegoat. Okay. Sounds like she saw the altar of a pagan ritual. That's not Satanism. Cups and knives are tools of paganism. Okay, thank you, scapegoat. Now, Satanism may have decided, atheistic Satanism may have decided, hey, we think this is cool, we're going to incorporate it, yada, yada, yada. But we aren't talking about atheistic Satanism at this point. And like I said, this never happened in the first place. So just, you know, enjoy the fucking story because it's made up.
He was robed and hooded. Around him, in a semicircle, stood some 13 priests and priestesses. Of course, you were told, not to say anything to anybody, because it was the keynote of the movement was secrecy. And little wonder when you knew what went on in there.
In Satanism, sex is not only used to lure new recruits, but in a ritual context, sex is also believed to be an important method of inducing power.
Okay, I'm not too sure about that one. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If it is, well, that also comes from paganism. I think you got your belief systems mixed up there, people. Yeah, I know, right? It's corny. It is absolutely positively corny. That's what they don't get. It is fucking corny what they say. All right, moving on.
In the sex ritual, it can be involving either a child, a teenager, or someone in the group, either voluntarily or involuntary.
No. Absolutely, positively not. Children are never incorporated into atheistic, Satanist practices. They are not included. They cannot give consent. Yeah, I know, scapegoat. It's symbolism. So, no, you're wrong. If sex happens, which it may not, I don't know. I've never been to TST or the COS. But it could happen, you know, but it's always with a consenting adult. Don't believe a word that comes out of this motherfucker's mouth. She clearly does not know what she's talking about.
You have to have sex and be initiated with the chief priest. After the chief priest has had you, anybody can.
One of the biggest rituals I was in.
Again, consent is the name of the game. Moving on.
Was a marriage ritual, and that was where me and my soulmate had to get married. It was required that the male and the female that were getting married sleep with the rest of the other group. So the
If either of you know, I am assuming this is bullocks because, again, it all comes down to consent. And if the people want to have group sex, hell, let them have group sex. Doesn't hurt anybody. It's their bodies. What the fuck do you idiots have against sex? I'm asexual, so it doesn't really matter to me, but come on. It's obviously that you have this fixation on sex. Just get it out of your system already.
female that was getting married to me would sleep with the guys, and I'd sleep with the girls.
Bacchus is the
I don't know who Bacchus is in Satanism, if he's anything, but in Greek or Roman mythology, I can't remember. They borrow from each other. They just changed the names, is all. I think it's Roman mythology. Bacchus is the god of wine. So let's see what they say. Satanists say Bacchus is.
Roman god of wine. He's also god of madness and frenzy. So we had a Bacchanalia, which was basically, it was supposed to be an orgy. We had a guest for that one, a young boy. And the energy that was raised from that was used to
Yes, people. Romans had orgies. Ooh, wow. Like, that's totally, like, super serio, guys. Come on. Grow up already, okay? Yeah, Romans had orgies. So what? They didn't have orgies with minors. Jesus fucking Christ. This is already giving me a headache. I may have to go before I was wanting to, but we'll see. Hopefully I can make it to the 30-minute mark. Moving on.
to send all our enemies mad.
Sex is very much a sacred thing for magicians of all backgrounds.
Yes, that's true. Sex is sacred to people who deal in magic. That's not a revelation. Ooh, I said sex. I'm gonna go to hell. Grow up. All right, moving on.
And it's a very powerful thing. And it's one of the most natural things in the world. In a ritual context, it loses none of that naturalness.
Sarah, another priestess, and myself used to have to do lesbian type dances in front of Mark.
No, you didn't have to. Let's get this straight. You didn't have to. Christianity has made you ashamed of your quote unquote lesbian dance, which, come on. A lesbian dance? What the fuck is that anyway? Anyway, moving on. So you converted to Christianity. Wow. Probably because you saw dollar signs when you knew you could sell your awesome story in this cult of Satan. Yeah, right, scapegoat. I'm not going to put that on screen, but yeah, I agree. But anyway, yeah, again, consent. Consent. Moving on.
But a lot of this went on. We were always openly encouraged to do that sort of thing in front of Mark. It was as if we were entertaining gods.
In Satanism, sadomasochism,
So you just said it yourself. You were encouraged. He didn't make you do it. You were encouraged to do it. Now, see, telling the truth isn't really all that hard, is it? Moving on.
is way out in the open. I mean, you know, all sorts of tortures and things are done to raise power.
We're seeing now.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. How do I even say this without getting demonetized? Okay, so take the first letters of the words I'm going to say. Bad, devil, sad, and mad. Bad, devil, sad, and mad. Okay, take those 4 letters. Okay, you got those 4 letters now? Okay, now we're going to talk about those 4 letters. That's not what those 4 letters mean, you fucking idiots. It's a game. And there are built-in safe words. And if you don't play the game correctly, you get kicked out of the group. Oh, cool. I have the Origins of Satan on my channel, Scapegoat. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's in the playlist. But yeah. Bad Devil, Sad and Mad. No. If you break any of the rules, you're out of the club. Come on. You don't know anything you're talking about. You don't have a fucking clue about any of this. Moving on.
What is known as sadomasochistic forms of Satanism, where they'll go in there and they'll self-mutilate each other, or they'll sadistically use
Self-proclaimed Satanists. Yes, I have heard of self-proclaimed Satanists doing shit like that. But you will never find organized Satanists doing shit like that. All right, moving on.
one of the other coven members, just for their own simple gratification.
Drawings back.
No, that is false. That is false. Again, consent is the name of the game, and you do not have to be a Satanist to participate in Bad Devil, Sad and Mad. And you don't have to be bad, devil, sad, and mad in order to be a Satanist. Jesus fucking Christ. Would you people learn a thing or two before you start spouting all of this nonsense? Moving on. Oh, and by the way, I actually grew up with this shit, which is part of why I don't believe it anymore, to be honest with you. All right, moving on.
It is about child abuse. It's about sexual abuse. It is no joke and must be taken.
No, no, and no. On all counts. And the whole point of organized Satanism is that it is a parody of Christianity. It is not to be taken seriously. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Yeah, Scapegoat. This is only part of why I'm not a Christian anymore. There's a bunch of crappy reasons, like they lied to me all my life. That had a lot to do with it, but they lied about a lot, not just this shit. So, anyway, yeah. So I think I'm gonna go. I did make it to the 30-minute mark. Yay! I put up with this shit for 30 full minutes. Well, not 30 full minutes. I talked a great deal of the time, but that's the only way I can make this shit, you know, livable, comments on it, And plus it makes it more fun for you. I mean, seriously, I had to listen to the shit without commentary. Just think about that. This very episode and other episodes like it, they popped it in the fucking VCR, and yeah, they used VCRs back in those days. They popped it in the fucking VCR, and it was required viewing. Ain't that a hoot? Thank you, Scapegoat. Uh, I get it pisses me off because I spent my life devoted to this shit. And then to learn it's not true. It was never true. Yeah, that pissed me off. And if I can free just one individual from this madness, then my channel's worth it. Scapegoat, we had a saying in the denomination I grew up with. I went to church 9 months before I was born. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we have. But you know what? At least we can say we're out of it. At least we can say we're out of it. There's a whole lot of people who can't. And, I don't know. I don't know whether people are probably eventually going to just stop. I mean, Christianity's 2,000 years old. And they think 2,000 years is a long time. Bloody hell it is. You know how long the Egyptian religion lasted? At least 5,000 years. At least. So they got 3,000 more years. And I think Hinduism goes back to around 4,000 or 5,000 years, somewhere around there. And that's the oldest extant religion, I believe, that's being practiced. So, yeah. It's so sad. I mean, it really, really is. If there's a Christian in here, do your homework. You know, when your pastor tells you to read your Bible, I say have at it. Read that fucking book. Read that nightmare of a fucking book and you will see what we are talking about. Reading the Bible makes more atheists than we will ever make. Read it for yourself. Find out how much it doesn't make sense, how much it crisscrosses itself. How much of that book you have to pick and choose because you can literally justify any position using that book. I'm not kidding. Read it. You can justify any position that you hold. Why do you think there's so many goddamn denominations? Okay? If you're a Christian, just read it. Read your fucking book. And not through Christology, for fuck's sake. Through an open mind. I want to understand should be your goal. Not, I have a presupposition that I want to support. And I'm going to support my presupposition no matter what. Hell, take notes. You know those little tab thingies that Post-it makes? You know, the little tape thingies with the little Post-it thingies on the side? I know I'm saying thingies a lot, but I don't know what else to call them. Use those. Take notes. Use a highlighter. Go through it. I promise you, at the end, you will be looking at that fucking book like, what the fuck did I just read? I promise you. Don't go in with any preconceived notions. Just read it like it is. And I promise you, you will come away. What the fuck did I just read? Half of the things in that book, I guarantee you do not know half of the things that are in that book. And if you are a Christian, you want to know why? Because your pastors do not want you to know half of what's in that fucking book. Because if you knew half of what was in that fucking book, you would not be a goddamn Christian. And you would run the fuck away from church. And you would never, ever, ever go back. I can promise you that much. But if you read it and you think I still want to be a Christian, I'm not going to be mad at you. Not not going to be mad. Why the fuck would I be mad? It's your religion. It's your life. You live your life the way you see fit. But don't you dare tell others how to live their lives. Don't you dare tell other people how to live their lives. Wow. I did not mean to get on my soapbox today. But obviously I did. So anyway, like the stream or dislike, I don't fucking care. Leave a comment down below. It helps the algorithm. Like I said, thumbs it up or thumbs it down, I don't fucking care. If you want to become a member of my channel and you are financially able, that is important. You can do so for 99 cents a month. You get custom emojis and debunks at least one day, usually 2 days early. And I will see you later, my peeps. Goodbye and peace out.